fighting item. There you go. He picks up a Mithril Hammer, so he's going for Desolator.
Yeah, he won't bother for the BKB, and thank God, because, like you said, they need damage.
I mean, there's actually, it's not even blocking much. It's blocking like a vacuum and maybe an ice path or two.
I mean, I guess he could still go BKB, but I think that would be a massive mistake because they really need the damage.
And now you can see that they're sieging up the hill. Even the fact that they do have Ravage back up. And of course, TIE Hunter, 2k gold. Like, once they pick up Blink, I think IG gets suddenly very scary.
It's coming soon.
But not soon enough because Hao is now still pushing top.
But Tong Fu can honestly just sit like back here behind the tower, and you just throw out flame breaks. You can send the familiars in. No, they're gonna find Banana. No 4 hero ice pass for him. Probably not anyway. There's your call down. BKB from Joe. Diving forward. They'll kill off the twin head, and now they'll look for more. Dust deployed. Hao on the run. He'll be able to retreat out. Now from the backside, Sungshunk's fishing in. It's Batrider who's jumped in. He'll stack up the napalm. He's still got a blink. He's still got a lasso. But if you jump now, there is Ravage, so...
Yeah, and now there's a Blink Dagger. I think they're going to push to tier 2. That was a very, very important arrow because not only did it draw PL back instantly, which is not taking down your tier 2 right now up top, they also basically got a tower kill, they got a Jakiro kill, and now they're looking for a little bit more. They're rolling as a pack in the jungle. If he sees one, I think you can actually blow the Ravage. Well, maybe not one. You can blow the Ravage for maybe 2.
They have a gem on Visage. They have the Blink Dagger as soon as it gets delivered. And 430 is going to lead the push. If they take this tier 2, it's totally worth it. Get a kill or 2 if they try to defend. And if you're Tong Fu, though, I think you can hold and bide your time. I think you can forfeit this tower because Hao's up to 3.3k gold.
Radiance?
Fighting here is... I guess he goes to Fusel if they want to fight now.
Actually, Radiance is actually really good against YYF since he got
Blink. Lasso's there. Blake Ravage, say hello to my little friend. YYF jumps in, nails everyone. Now Joe dishing, trying to do enough. The call down comes through. King J's there. I don't know if it's enough damage. The Ravage was popped. It hit everyone, but they're the ones on the run. 2 dead. Joe is well. 3 dead. If that fight doesn't work,
they just don't have damage. I mean, it don't matter if you land a 3-man Ravage when you're right-clicking for 110.
Yeah.
And what is that flat cannon for? What, 110?
Like what do they need? I mean,
no, they just need damage.
But by the time they get that, PL has Radiance.
I mean, PL Radiance Illusion will die quick, right? In theory, if you have damage.
4.2k gold. It's just his ability split. I mean, and who knows?
He's got Relic. He's gone full old school PL.
Jesus.
I know, like, every Western carry player out there is just shaking their head.
But this is so good against IG because their entire team fight is that Blink Ravage, and Radiance Burn is going to prevent it.
Yeah, I mean,
sure, like, oh yeah, Radiance is a farming item. It's not as good for fighting. That's all fair. But IG don't have a pipe, so the damage will be quite significant, and it cancels the blink, and that's the big thing.
I mean, actually, the reason why Radiance is just bad on PL now is that Radiance even farms slower than things like Yasha. Because your illusions are moving faster, they're right-clicking more, they reproduce faster. Radiance is just bad 95% of the time, but this is one of those times, especially the fact that he's not...
Well, I mean, the new Radiance, I think, is a lot stronger, though. It farms really fast. 50 damage in an AoE. S4 had an interview, and he said he thinks the main reason Lone Druid's still strong in this patch is the Radiance.
Right. Radiance on Bear versus Radiance on PL is a different story.
That's true. That is fair.
Yasha does not help Bear farm faster.
Can you imagine if bears replicated?
Yeah.
If you could get an army of Spirit Bears?
Oh, God.
That would be so good. But he is going to have his Radiance now.
I mean, the way that he's actually hanging out with his team and just slowly pushing or slowly defending, just lancing these guys are pretty good. So
I guess there has kind of been an army of bears in TI3. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of tweets about it. Liquid's running Ursa all the time, Alliance on the Lone Druid. Liquid's running a little bit of bear here and there. So the Western teams are trusting in their bears.
It's a very American animal.
It is. Yeah. It's a good American animal. It's something that we can all believe in.
As opposed to what, like, what's another American animal? Like an eagle?
I honestly want to see a bald eagle courier before TI3.
Isn't that the Roshan? The baby Roshan courier?
You know, if America wins TI3, maybe a bald
just
eagle
get
courier.
like yeah.
We'll replace Elgato with the bald eagle.
Okay.
The owl.
If you watch
that would honestly be an amazing upgrade for Elgato.
No, if you watch enough games, he just turns into
the bald eagle carrying the Elgato around.
Yeah.
Although bald eagles would just eat the cat probably.
No, man. It's allergic.
Yeah.
Allergic to Elgato.
Allergic. Oh my God. We'll see though. America's still got a ways to go. They had a good day 1. They've had an okay day 2. And here we are. The two Chinese teams, Tongfu and IG. 11-7 your score. The gold graph that once was pretty far ahead for IG, not so much anymore, though. Arrow and Illusion, he'll kill off the bat Illusion, but now PL starts to split push, and he can farm the jungle very safely, just with the Radiance Burn, constantly scouting. He should be anyway, and he is.
This is actually a slow, painful death. It goes back to the 2-3 fights where IG took. They had 2k go on the Weaver, they had 2k go on Gyro, but they never actually picked up a key item. Now we see the Eagle Songs, now we see the Desolator. I just wish that they could have fought with these type of items instead.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, I guess the one nice thing for Tongfu or for IG is Tongfu don't have many BKB heroes. Bat could get one, and that's probably the main one. Maybe Darkseer. Actually, Darkseer is about to have one. But Pia won't have a BKB, and the supports won't. So a well-timed Ravage could still blow a fight open, but... And I think they have heroes that are good against PL Illusions. You have Disruption to make your own army. You have Flat Cannon to kill them. But... like you said, it's just normally in this state of the game, if you're defending against PL, you die a slow and painful death.
Actually, I know I completely forgot about this. Since your Disruption steals their PL, they're stealing their Illusion as well.
Yeah, you get a guaranteed Radiance.
Like,
that's a good reason not to go for it.
It's always a good reason not to go PL Radiance, but damn. You just gave away
even if
5,000 gold.
Even if they don't replicate. And if they replicate, that's just your added bonus. Now Mirana ult popped, IG, they'll look to re-engage immediately. Tongfu, though, retreating out. And I don't think this is going to happen.
Yeah, one team blowing a Moonlight Shadow, the other team blowing Firefly, so we're not going to see engagement happening anytime soon.
Back to farming.
Yeah. Which, if you're Radiance PL...
I guess the other question is, though, does Shadow Demon get to disrupt PL? Because Batrider is going to go on Shadow Demon every time.
Is he? I mean,
you don't want to lasso Tide because he's always got Kraken Shell.
As an SC, it's not hard for you to just stay back, right?
Against Blink Bat and Force, it's always hard.
That's true.
It's always hard.
It's also very important for them to kill Faith because he's got the mech. If you kill him right from the get-go before you pop the mech, before you get disrupt anything, that's a big payoff.
Here comes a big smoke from IG. Joe in front, King J, arrow to fly, it's gonna nail it. There's your call down as well. They found Sung Chung, but 4 staffed away. They'll catch 2 here. Banana in trouble. Ravage was deployed. Now the wall thrown out. The disruption never came. And Hao is just running rampant. He got off the macro pyre. They're on the run. They're getting burned to bits. Everybody driven back.
They
2
traded
for 2.
2 for 2, and
but for a Ravage.
Joe is set and moves on the chase right now. He still got last, so the Flame Break's gonna hit on Chuan, and that Radiance Burn is gonna get yet another kill. YYF, it's gonna be seen. He gushes, blinks to the north. He will.
Le Radiance doing work.
I mean, Radiance PL, new meta.
And now they still have lasso. 430 could be dead here. No, he'll be okay. That's close. But yeah, trading like that is no bueno for IG. No bueno, especially not killing the PL.
I think IG as well as Tongfu is gonna end their day at 6-6, because IG is gonna lose this game. The way this game is gonna keep going.
It seems it's one of those weird situations where you look at the goal graph like, oh, it's an even game.
No,
not an even game. Those numbers are very misleading.
Goal graph is a trap.
It really is.
Goal graph is like a cake.
How's a cake a trap?
The cake was a lie. There was never.
There is no cake.
There's no cake.
Welcome to the Matrix.
Yeah. Well, here comes the smoke from Tongfu. They're saying you don't have Ravage. We have a Radiance PL.
You know what, Lumi, though? Maybe it's all just a dream. We're going to wake up, and the Chinese teams will move on TI3.
Oh, God. This is a nightmare then, right?
This is a nightmare.
Allianz.
Pinch me, Lumi. Pinch me.
Oh, free PL Illusion. Thank you.
Moo. Firefly available. Looking to jump here on YYF, perhaps. Remember, no Ravage per minute. And this is a great time for Tongfu to choose a fight.
Because if you get the fight now, you get the Ageless on your PL. Maybe you just
win. Yeah. And Hao's got enough for another item soon. If they win one big fight, could be his Diffusal Blade. We'll see if he... I mean, normally that's just a go-to, but we'll see. Now the Firefly, the Surge as well. Moo on the chase. There's no need for him to force these initiations, but I like the fact that he's just being patient about it.
Yeah, the fact that IG's scared about it means you're going to get a tier 2. Now, with that said, they have to make sure that, once their Firefly goes down, they have to back out. You don't want to take a fight without Firefly vision.
And they don't have to. They just take that tier 2.
I'm back.
Roche, the door to Roche is soon open. Because with Firefly and now with the Dark... there was a time this game where I'd say Ravage was the strongest skill at the pit. It's definitely the Darkseer wall now.
No, it's the Phantom Lance, by far. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as team fight ults.
By the way, 4.4k go on How.
Yeah.
Manta? Manta time?
IG 5 heroes. They'll use their ult. Were they spotted?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I think they were.
By a observer?
There is a Radiant Observer right here.
There is a gem on that bat. I mean, if they run up the hill like this.
Oh, they know. They so know. IG are not going to pull a fast one on Tong Fu. Okay. Well, at least they don't get caught if for IG's sake.
Radiant's top tower is under
All Tong Fu
attack.
have to do is not let IG sneak a Roche. And even if they do, I don't know if it matters, but if they don't let IG get any freebies this game, and they have to work for every advantage, then Tong Fu's game.
Arrow, long arrow. I mean, even if you hit an arrow right now on Chuan, I don't even know you go in for that one.
That's not the kind of arrow you can go on.
Yeah.
Because you have to close the gap, and then by the time you get there, Tong Fu is completely ready for you.
Like, unless you hit PL.
No, even if you do.
Even then, they have a Force Staff to kind of bail him out a little bit.
They have to hit the arrow when Tide's in position to blink Ravage, like, within 2 seconds after. If you give them more than that, they'll just spread, and they'll make sure they pop the mech. They'll prepare him with a Surge so he can run away. And like you said, there's always the Force Staff.
Yeah, Firefly checking things out here.
It's just so hard to contest Roche when you're IG because there's a bat on the enemy team and he's got a gem. That's a very simple formula. And here we go. Arrow to fly, not going to connect. Moo's got a blink. Not choosing to leap yet. Diving IG at their tier 2 is one way that IG could get back in this game, though, if Tong Fu chooses to.
I mean,
do
Tong
it.
Fu's not going to make that mistake. They're going to just slow siege. They've been so patient this entire game. They just know that they have the better late game with PL Radiance.
Arrow's coming in again. Not going to hit. The thing is, at this point in the game, like, you're always going to see the arrow coming. There is a disruption now. They'll get a peel illusion of their own, but Blink, Lasso, and it is Faith. Who gets caught under his tier 2? He was way back. Doesn't even matter. And
the Bird just stuns, like, the entire team, so they can't even counter-initiate. In fact, they're in big trouble. Ultimate gets dropped.
Well, King J's just sitting here. He actually got arrowed, I believe. Now 430 on the run. Moo burning him to bits. One more Lance, one more Flame Break. Down he'll go. On the backside is your BKB. YYF to fall.
He couldn't Ravage because BKB gets popped on Darkseer. So he just basically walked in and then died.
And this is one of the reasons why Tide is a very situational pick nowadays. His ult does not go through BKBs. His ultimate is a very long cooldown. You have to make it work for you. He is not a carry. He does not scale particularly well with farm. And ultimately, he doesn't buff your carry. He doesn't have Empower. So I still think Tide is a strong hero. I still think in the right lanes he could definitely work. But we are seeing some of the lanes and the situations where he fails to work. Yeah,
also Faith just can't get caught out. We just saw that he is priority number 1. They will always look for him. He's got the mech, he's got the defensive disrupt, he's got the purge, so he's got to stay safe.
Actually, yeah, he doesn't have the mech, just the buckler. But
well, eventually, ideally, he's going to have the mech.
This is some more wishful thinking from us. A lot of wishful thinking from us today, Limmy.
It's a dream. You know, I was saying let's go out with a bang with the 80-minute for the last game. I was kind of kidding, for anyone that didn't realize. But the Dota gods have, be careful what you wish for.
Because they might deliver it. They've got great vision here, though. Plenty of wards up and down the lane. They've got a heart now on the PL. At least he was sending it to the secret shop for one, and indeed, no, hasn't bought it yet. Okay, there you go. So heart on how? Can they go high ground? Ravage is still up, but I guess there's no reason to force it. Maybe they will. Do they force it now? Here's your Mirana initiation, but Batrider with Gem is always in the neighborhood, and now he's got a BKB. That's the 2 big team fight heroes almost guaranteed to get off their BKBs. Because the way Ravage works is it's not an instant stun. You see it coming unless you're right next to the Tide. Usually get it off, and here we go. They've lassoed 430. Roche is going to cooperate. Blink, Ravage is there, but is it going to matter? That's a little bit stronger. Too much damage coming out. Zhou just hardly tickling a hero, and right now 430's on the run. Zhou is as well. His BKB ends. He gets cleaned up, and now into Chuan. Chuan trying to TP away. No escape. GG should probably be coming soon. Roche should be for the offing for Tong Fu. And Ravage is on cooldown, so now you can go high ground.
That rhyme. Get that, Valdi.
It's a birthday rhyme for you, buddy.
Thank you.
So our last game of the day looks like it will be a Tong Fu 2-0 sweep.
Okay.
Are you happy or disappointed? Which team were you rooting for?
I mean,
I think it's overall worse for the Chinese fans, or the Chinese teams, because now they have 2 teams that are 6-6, but nobody is actually just right in the running.
Like, I don't even care their score because I'm just more worried of how they're going to do at the main
The
event.
quality of play.
Right,
It hasn't been there.
The quality of play, it just... If Tongfu could beat IG, just on that alone, I'd say, yeah, I'm happy for Tongfu. But they just got 2-0 by LG International, which I don't see them as the same quality of team that could win TI3, for example. So...
Yeah, it's been underwhelming from these teams. And it's been impressive from a lot of the Western squads. Well, some of them.
I'm more comfortable rooting for a team like LGD China, DK, who has a lot more experience.
Than Tongfu.
Yeah. And no disrespect to Tongfu, they're kind of winning this game pretty badly, but more often I feel like it was more or less of IG's mistake as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another draft that can work, but it requires a lot more precise execution. And to me, the teams that keep on winning, Alliance and Navi, are almost always picking drafts that have so many avenues to win, just much more well-rounded compositions.
At the same time, if you say there's one team that should be executing better than the opponent no matter what, it should be IG.
But it's clearly not.
Yeah, it's
and they're not adapting to that.
Right, so it's just like, are they showing up as the champions? I think clearly they have not been showing up as the champions.
Did they get their rings yet? Maybe the rings give them superpowers.
They were wearing their rings.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, maybe they need more rings.
Valve, please fix our rings. They're broken. They're supposed to give us
double
gold, double experience, double gold bonus.
Oh, just seeing the way that IG's playing, unless they have a Navi thing where they just go Super Saiyan in the main event, they're not gonna be TI3 champions. They have not convinced me.
Yeah, right now, anyone who's been watching the games, regardless of who your allegiances lie with, should expect Alliance and Navi to be the heavy favorites of the main event. And I think it's a big drop off after those two teams right now.
I think DK's up there.
Yeah.
I think Fnatic's up there.
These are group stages, and obviously the way that they go does not determine how the main event goes, but just based on what we've seen, those two teams have been the most impressive, the most consistent, and the most dominant.
And also, it's the way that they're winning. It's not just an empty 10-0 score. The way that Alliance has been winning, they're dominating.
For sure.
Yeah, the only close game against Hongfu was more or less an experimental draft. But,
I'm still a believer, Lumi.
Of what?
In Bernie we trust.
I mean, I've gone from, in the past 1 hour, from Chinese reban to RIP Chinese again.
Wasn't there the saving grace for this series, though, if one Chinese team gets to win?
I guess so. DK reban, but...
But if you beat up a defenseless child, that doesn't make you
exactly right.
Doesn't make you a good fighter.
I mean,
I wouldn't quite call IG a defenseless child, but
they're kind of playing like it. What happens? Let's say if Tongfu gets to the they're the last seed on the winner bracket, right?
Yeah.
And then on the other side, Navi first round selects them, and just 2-0s them. It's like, all right, you guys are going to losers.
I'm not sure. By the way, 430 just got lassoed. He's dead.
Yeah.
He's one of the few heroes that can leave the base right now.
Well,
it is a problem.
Maybe he has to rethink that.
Leaving the base.
Yeah.
Go home, 430. Go back to your base. It's not. This is not a safe land for you anymore. I mean, Tongfu is just map controlling this well. Gem up, not letting IG out of their base, constantly fighting pickoffs. And while that's happening, PL, Manta, just skip Diffusal Blade entirely. Now that, regardless of what your build is, Diffusal is the most cost-efficient damage item in the game on PL by a mile. Like, to not get that, I still find crazy.
I mean, I guess when you're sieging buildings, I guess Manta is slightly better.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, you actually do give away the Diffusal Blade, too, if you...
That's true. Yeah. There's a Shadow Demon, but it still seems a little odd. Blake, Rabbit, possibly our final fight of the game. They back one. Once again, the Shadow Demon dead. Just no way out. Already your Weaver that died earlier, forced to buy back. How? Just unaffected, standing tall and sieging it out. The Drax soon to fall. IG driven back. Another disruption. Can SD be the hero for this squad? Well... It doesn't look too good right now for IG.
The way that IG have drafted, they have to play so much better than Tongfu to win this game, and they didn't have that play. Here comes Mu finding Faith, and Faith is just getting shredded apart. Zoe gets backbacking, pops a BKB. He might actually kill Hao, but Hao with the heart, he's just so tanky.
Remember, he's got Aegis.
Yeah.
He's got Aegis.
Yeah, he doesn't. Thanks for the free heals, he says.
And now Joe in a bit of trouble here on the run, and the Rack soon to fall. Round number 2 of the PL army fight. Now the Racks are dead. There's no Ravage. The buybacks were forced out. No item progression on Gyro. IG is a dead man walking in game number 2.
Also, I want to say that when Tie Hunter blinked in and dropped that Ravage, all he hit was PL and his illusions. BKB from a Bat Rider, BKB from a Darkseer.
So, out of all the Chinese teams, is it just DK who you think has a legit shot?
I think LG China and DK.
And IG has been consistently underwhelming though. Like, I can't point to a single game that they've had in the past few months and say like, okay, this looks like IG from last year. Where did the mojo go?
I think it's actually the change of the metagame, and they just haven't kept up. It's not the same patch.
The metagame changed for everyone. Why is IG unable to adapt?
You know, like teams like DK, they're trying new strats, right? The burning's going in the off lane.
IG's trying new picks. I mean, they did the OD tree thing.
I think IG has been like overconfident for a lot of the past year, and perhaps that's why they're not learning new things.
Pride cometh before the fall.
Perhaps.
It'll be sad if we don't get to see Chuan on the main stage for very long, though. Outside of Dendi, I think he was the most animated and exciting player at TI2. Just getting up and roaring. Though there's some unforgettable images from that IG squad.
Well, we're counting like this is their last match of the tournament.
It's not, but I mean, just assuming that they do get knocked out early, if that does happen.
I mean, they still could very well finish in the winner bracket, so let's not count them out just yet. Tomorrow it's do or die situation. IG is going to be playing against LGD, or no, they're playing against Team Liquid, which is actually a very important match for both these teams. They have the whole night to prepare for it, so.
Blink, lasso on Joe, our last fight of the game, and this really should be it for IG. 2 heroes back into a ice path. Now Joe trying to duke it out, but you just cannot fight the million-man army. He's going to die, and then at long last, they decided, let's take one more fight, let's give it a shot. If it doesn't work, we'll GG. It didn't work, and they GG. To the guy in the chat who said my prediction was wrong about Alliance not going undefeated, that's fair. But I also said Fnatic would get 2-0'd by DK, which they did, and I said Orange would go 5-1 today, which they did. So I got 2 of those 3 right.
Wait, Alliance lost the team?
No, Alliance didn't. But Fnatic got 2-0'd by DK.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, my predictions have been pretty good on average.
Yeah, LD, you're the prophet.
Yes. Just, I mean, we all get hated on for our mispredictions, so let's get credit.
I get hated on for everything else. So I'm used to it.
It's your birthday, man.
Yeah. It's not good.
So IG 2-0'd. Tough match for them. You mentioned they're playing, is it Team Liquid tomorrow?
Yes.
Do you think they can win that match? Because Liquid has almost exclusively, at least before the last set of games, been winning matches with Wisp.
Yeah,
IG is also the last time they played Liquid, they lost to Wisp.
They gave Wisp, and
that can't happen again.
You know what? It just comes down to the draft. I'm not confident where IG is gonna be playing well enough to be like, you can have Wisp, you can have Bat, and we'll still beat you. Like,
if you like had Puppy do the drafting for them, and then IG plays out the draft, I feel like their chance of improving would be
better.
Like the winning would shoot up like 80% or something. Just because the drafting for them has been so depressing.
I mean, IG right now don't understand, it feels like, what they're good at.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know what you're good at, how do you draft?
They're just not, like, face rolling, I guess, which is, they're so good at that, but it's been a while. Okay, well, we've jawed at you guys a lot. Tong Fu, take it 2-0. Merlinium Purge, it's our final series of the day, and Tong Fu, they're back at 6-6.
Pretty good for them considering they just got O2 themselves. IG is also going to be in the danger zone now.
Yeah.
And that completely messes up our groups and predictions, right? Like,
indeed it does.
Who's going to take it? I don't even know anymore.
One thing I really liked about Tong Fu that game is that they 5-man with PL early. Usually we see PL just like farm a lot, but with Tidehunter, with Potem and Shadow Demon constantly trying to pick fights too, they didn't want to fight 4-on-5. He just picked up early treads, drums, and just kept fighting. And he actually, I don't think, died until he got his Radiance, or maybe he just died once or twice. But they really needed his extra, just his annoying lances all the time, just doing a lot of damage. And if they didn't have that, I think that IG could have just rolled over them, just with Hunter Ravage. But after they won those couple of team fights, they got BKBs on Darkseer, most importantly. Bat found a lot of good initiates, and I think that the flexibility of the carry on the side of Tongfu really led to that victory.
Yeah, and the Batrider initiates were really key, but also grabbing the blocking bars, like you said, very important because of Tidehunter. And YYF's initiations were on point the entire game, except for the one case where Batrider initiated to grab the solo hero and he just ravaged him, and they lost that kill by about 40 damage or something. But I mean, if they would have killed Batrider there, maybe they could have taken a tower, who knows. And in that case, if Batrider can't buy back, it's a 5v4, they should be okay with that ravage. But I mean, every time Mu would go in, lasso one guy, and then the counter initiation came immediately from YYF. And at the start of the game, that was extremely clutch because it just completely would swing the team fights. And they still had some trouble scoring kills and like actually winning the fights behind towers and things like that. But I think IG did play pretty well. I think the only thing we could really fault them for is the roaming Potom didn't really work out. Like, he did spend a lot of time and he shot some really close arrows, but it didn't produce kills in the mid lane and didn't allow Ferrari to snowball.
Right, the carries were just so poor. You really want to match PL and items, but he had like Radiant's Heart, Manta, Drums versus just Butterfly BKB on Gyrocopter. Even with a Rapier, I think it would still been pretty tough for them to win it out. His BKB was like really low duration at the end too. Weaver had some damage too, but they just had so much team fight too. If he got lassoed, he's gonna die unless Shadow Demon has like an amazing disrupt, and he can't really take out PL illusions either, and he has to worry about like Darkseer wall. Darkseer had some really nice wall vacuums. Too.
Yeah, I loved so many fights in this game. Were really fun to watch too. Especially I love the one where they were in the river and then they the Jakiro ice pathed it and the wall, and they had to run through that to team fight.
Yeah,
I mean,
with the Moonlight Shadow initiate too.
Yeah, I mean everything in that game. There's so many big AOE spells. I was actually having trouble following a lot of them, but it was just super fun game to watch. And congrats, Tongue.
You were having trouble.
Losing faith in IG though.
I
don't know if they're gonna make it in top 4. And even if they do, can they really take on the top teams? I mean, they were close. They did like okay versus Alliance, I would say. They didn't do too poorly.
I mean, as much as I guess Lumi and I would kind of sound like Debbie Downers, just because we were just, that's just our personal opinions, is how the teams have looked. But that's just a gut feeling. Like, Tongfu's not out of it. IG's not out of it. Who knows? Maybe they just have a pep talk. They sit down and they figure out what's been missing, and they just come out shooting. I think that's entirely possible, but if they play like this, then I just don't think they're going more than maybe top 8, but definitely not higher than that.
I'd be really surprised if IG didn't place in the money, considering. I mean, I wouldn't feel bad for them.
How can you go from that, like winning $1 million?
They won $1 million last year. Like, I don't care if they don't lose if they lose money, but it would be really surprising to see, especially because 4 months ago everybody said the same thing. Oh yeah, sure, IG is going to be still the best team going into it, and it's completely different now.
That is not true anymore.
Yeah, not at all. Another thing I'd like to talk about is that Tongfu keeps getting 2-0'd, and then they 0-2 somebody else.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, usually the Eastern teams are like more consistent, but they've been very inconsistent in this tournament.
I just think that most of the Eastern teams are bad. Like, maybe that's not the right word.
Maybe that's not the right
What word are you trying to use, Lumi?
Like,
let's examine
out
your
the
vocabulary.
feelers.
Dig deep.
okay, the way that Alliance is winning is they're winning convincingly.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of these Eastern teams, when they're winning, it's because the teams on the other sides are playing worse than them. It feels like. Like, you know how everybody was very excited for this TI, saying how the matches are very close. Everybody was playing, a lot closer to each other's in proximity in terms of skill level.
Yeah.
Walk in here and casting 12 games today and 12 games yesterday. I see more teams lose games, or more teams win game because the other team plays worse than teams winning games because they're better. Does that make sense?
It means when they win, they're not really like convincing victories. It's just because the other team messed up so badly that they had to lose.
I don't know. I wouldn't say so badly.
Not
that
so
they had
badly,
to lose,
but like it's like it helps them quite a bit. It's
I mean, I do feel like it's very. There's a lot more mistakes than what you would expect, right? I mean, Toby actually talked. One thing I like that Toby's been saying a lot when he broadcasts is like there's unforced errors and there's forced errors. And I feel like Tongfu are making a lot of, or not Tongfu, but a lot of the Asian teams are making unforced errors, getting their own items. I mean, look at that game against Alliance. Like when Queen of Pain just wandered off into the mid lane, they had no vision. Like 65 minutes in, that could have just lost them the game. It didn't.
how did Ben put it?
Alchemist just hiding in the trees by himself, lost them the game.
One team is playing to win, the other team is playing not to lose, in a sense. So when I say Asian teams are bad, I don't mean like they suck.
It's not that they're bad at Dota, but they're just the execution is lacking.
It's just like it doesn't feel like they're gonna win TI. I can't be saying, hey, IG main stage, they're gonna come out strong.
Don't forget though, didn't feel like Navi was going to win TI2. It did not feel like that. Their group stage was atrocious.
Yeah, Navi put.
Didn't feel like they were going to win Alienware.
They got together so fast. So they lost. They dropped 2 versus
Yeah.
versus Fnatic, and then they just won. I think every single game after. So I mean, they've cleaned up their act very, very quickly. But for IG, they've been in this they haven't been winning any convincing victories in the past. I want to say like 2 or 3 months.